Hi, welcome to another training movie for Canto Roboflow. Imagine that you have in your Cumulus catalog a table field, and imagine that in that table field you want to update a certain value. With a normal field in Cumulus, you could use the bulk update to update a value of multiple records, but this is not available for your normal Cumulus installation in table fields. So here's an example of how you can do this with Roboflow. Imagine that we have here a table field and that one of the parameters, let's say param4, which is in reality the category index or the category ID, needs to change. Maybe you had a server crash, maybe your IDs changed because you added something to the database.xml file of your installation and it changed the IDs. You need to update this, so what you can do is you can create a workflow, and I created already the workflow. Let's say that I'm looking on the video catalog and I'm doing a query. I'm looking for all the entries of my action table with a certain action name. And let's say that I want in all the preview records that I want to process those records that have action table entries with the action name equals to preview. And so if you look here, there is an action name and here's the field preview. So I want to update every record. If you just want to update all records that have something there, you could just simply test with has value instead of testing here specifically for an exact value. What you specify here is I put my field in my parameters so that I added a new field so that I don't have to look for it in my script, so that I can always update this field and change it. This workflow can simply replace the value of this entry by a new value. So let's say, for example, that my category ID changed into the value 10. So then I can simply run this workflow setting it to 10. You can also use the value to replace. Then in that case, it will first store the value of that parameter and look inside that parameter for a certain value. Imagine that you are changing maybe in another field the direct URL is stored. So let's say we have here something like this and you don't want the reference anymore to a folder called zip, but you want a reference to a folder called sap. Well, then you could do a find and replace instead of just a complete replace. Let's have a closer look at the workflow. It's actually pretty simple. In the workflow, I open, so the query results in records, and so each record launches this particular script. When the script is open, I open the action table, which the table is called action table, and here I process all the records of that action table, and additionally I do the query here once again so that it only processes the subtable items of that specific record and not all of them. And then that's why again I stored this action name value here at the top and not in the script. Then I'm storing the field value of the field that we requested, and then I'm testing if this replace value is equals to nothing, value to replace is equals to nothing, then it means it's a complete replace. It's not something it has to search for in the value. In that case, I'm simply storing the field value of that specific field and replace. I'm storing this as the new field value. If this is not the case, then I do a replace in text So I'm looking for a certain value in this field with a certain and replace it with a certain value. As a result, in the variable field name, I have the new value, and I just say store and set the record table record field value. So that specific field that we defined, we're now setting its value. And then we close the table record, the table that we opened in the beginning. So as I said, pretty straightforward. So if I run the workflow and I click on start, it will update in all these fields. It will change the 4 in a 10. Mind you, this is the view is not updating live, so I have to switch to see it. And if we have a look now, you can see that here's an entry that has 10. This will be the action preview. And if we look at another one, this only has 1 entry and it changed it into 10. So it's that easy. And so I can now run it again and switch it back. All I have to do is say, okay, I want to change it to this value, and now the workflow will do the work for us. And there you have it, back to 4. So this was a little example on how you can do a bulk edit with Roboflow on table fields. And all you have to do is set your proper name of your table field, and the workflow, you can adjust the query to whatever you want it to be, and then the workflow can do the rest for you. Thank you for joining. See you in another movie.